Next up, at UFC 268, we have Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Justin Gaethje, 22-3 overall, 4-1 in his last 5, coming off of that loss to Khabib. Michael Chandler, 22-6 overall, 3-2 in his last 5, coming off the loss to Oliveira. Both these guys coming off of losses to the lightweight champion, just different lightweight champions. This is an interesting fight, and hopefully it stays together, because earlier there were completely unsubstantiated rumors that Michael Chandler tested positive for COVID. Listen, I'm not going to say who messaged me saying Michael Chandler has COVID. I sent it to some people without double checking. Turns out the whole thing was a complete farce and just absolute satire nonsense. And that's how rumors get started, when you share links based on the headline and not reading the article. My bad for perpetuating that rumor. Justin,
I accept your apology.
Yeah, you are one of the people I sent it to. Justin Gaethje is a wrestler who doesn't use wrestling. In fact, he has 0 takedowns in the UFC, despite having college wrestling experience. He has power, but he's actually more of a volume guy. He relies on his own chin a lot. He marches forward, throws heavy. He will stay in your face, and he loves ugly fights. He thrives in that chaos. He struggles against guys who can keep it technical. Poirier, for example, had nice, clean, technical striking, and he was able to be a step ahead of Justin the entire time. Justin almost needs a war to really shine. Michael Chandler has only had 2 fights in the UFC, but he has an entire career of championships and champion-level fights in Bellator and Strikeforce. His Eddie Alvarez trilogy is one of the best trilogies in combat sports. Chandler is a very good wrestler who likes to strike. He has a ton of power, solid pressure. He's got real no kicking game at all, but he is a threat for the takedowns and does use his wrestling. If we look at his very short UFC career, he knocked out Dan Hooker super quick. Then he won the first round against Oliveira, but was finished in the second round. And he honestly, even had Oliveira in a little bit of trouble in that fight. The rest of these fights are hard to pick, this one included. This is a great matchup. I think this fight comes down to Justin's chin. I think Chandler will have success early. He will get to Justin's chin, but he'll start to fade. He'll start to gas. He'll start to slow down. He'll start to lose that power. And if Justin's chin holds up and he can get into a rhythm of the over 7 significant strikes per minute that he averages, he will break Chandler. If I was positive that Michael Chandler would wrestle, then this would be a very easy pick. But I can't be sure. I'm gonna pick Chandler, and it goes again. My mouth and head are saying Chandler, and my body are like, no, why are you doing that? But I am gonna pick Chandler. There's a ton of variables. Ultimately, the wrestling threat, the power in his hands, and the fact that Justin just gets hit so much has me leaning Chandler. Eventually, Justin's chin is going to give up. It cannot take the damage it's been taking. But what are your thoughts here?
My opinion is going to be very unpopular, and I realize that, and I am ready for the backlash, because Michael Chandler is going to absolutely destroy and embarrass Justin Gaethje. Destroy and embarrass Justin Gaethje. Listen, Justin Gaethje, very tough guy. You mentioned it. He's got the power. But if you start looking at his wins and losses, you mentioned the Eddie Alvarez he lost, Dustin Poirier. His first fight against Michael Johnson, he was losing that fight. He came back and won. Then it's James Vick, Barbosa, Cowboy. The Tony fight, he was flatlined at the end of the second round. If Tony had 10 more seconds, he loses that fight. He never even gets to fight Khabib. Obviously, he fought Khabib and lost. So there's a couple wins in there. They're actually, they count as wins. And he did win, and obviously he looked fantastic against Tony after the second round and stuff. But there were some moments in there. You mentioned the chin against Michael Chandler. I'm glad you mentioned the wrestling. Gaethje, if he would wrestle, I think that he would have a longer career. He's not interested in it. He wants to be the prize guy, and good for him. He's getting those fights. Everyone loves Justin Gaethje.
Oh, dude couldn't be more fun to watch. Couldn't be a better guy.
Exactly. And I have nothing against Gaethje. I think he's an awesome person, but Chandler. I think he's bluffing, right? So Chandler says this is going to be an absolute war of violence. We're going to meet in the middle. I think Chandler shoots a takedown inside of 30 seconds. He uses wrestling because he's a guy that was a Missouri wrestler that coaches wrestling still, all the pros. He's coaching the pros. He uses wrestling. I think he comes in, says, you know, screw this. I want a title shot. I don't want to be the guy that's the knockout guy. I don't want to be on Justin Gaethje's highlight. I want a title shot. I know what I'm here for. I'm going to have the game plan. I think he comes in, wrestles heavy. He saw what Khabib was able to do to Gaethje. Obviously, Chandler's not quite on that level, but he is a very, very good wrestler. I think he can control Gaethje, control the fight completely, and I cannot believe that Gaethje is a 2-1 favorite on this. Another point I'll add, which doesn't mean anything, but it's kind of funny, on the embeddeds, when they go back and forth, because there's been a lot of Chandler and a lot of Gaethje on the embeddeds. So it starts off with Chandler. I can't remember what I think he's just in the, you know, he's just training, right? He's in there, he's hitting pads, he's doing this. The first highlight they show of Gaethje, he's in there with Usman, with Trevor Whitman. Trevor Whitman's with Usman, Rose, and Gaethje. Gaethje does a handstand. He's trying to hit the speed bag with his feet. He's doing weird stuff. The next day, Chandler's in his garage with the humidifier in it, sweating on a bike. Gaethje's out golfing, having a good time. So that's kind of personalities between the two guys. Nothing against Gaethje. Obviously, he's still working hard. He's done what he needed to do to get to this point. But I'm all Michael Chandler all the way. I know people love Gaethje. I think Chandler absolutely dominates this fight and gets that title shot. And I think he's got a real shot to win the title.
So I'm not nearly as high on Chandler as you are. So I do think Chandler wins this fight, but I'm very realistic with Chandler's chin.
And I already put money on Chandler too. That plus I think it was 165. They've even moved even more. I put money on there.
Yeah, I mean, Chandler's chin does worry me, obviously. We just saw it. We have an issue, right? In his last fight, he had an issue with his chin. He's been in wars, but so has Justin. And Justin hasn't been put out yet like that, but eventually that chin's got to go. Again, I'm siding with Chandler because of wrestling. I spent a tiny bit of time with Justin Gaethje because he fought Nick Newell, the other person of the show that hasn't been here in a while.
Well, he illegally kneed Nick Newell in the head and then won the fight.
Well, he fought Nick, so we bumped into each other in the elevator and a few other places. Guy could not be nicer. Like, he knew I was part of Nick's camp. Saw him in the elevator. He's like, hey, good luck, man. Nick's a great guy. Good luck. I didn't say hi to him. I'm just standing in the elevator. So, dude couldn't be nicer. His whole team is full of great people.
I honestly don't even know if I mentioned it, but that's the lock of the week. Chandler is the lock of the week. I think he dominates. That's the lock of the week. We're coming off the Amanda Hebos. We got Jacob Ribas. You know, the ultimate lock of the week.
I just noticed that was your stupid name.
So we're going to the double, you know, ultimate lock of the week. Michael Chandler gets it done.
By the way, so obviously we both love Chandler at 7,300. What I will say is if you're in the Gaethje camp and you think Gaethje just absolutely flatlines Michael Chandler, which is a possibility, Justin Gaethje is a great price at $8,900. Great price at $8,900 for sure. So, Monkey Knife fight, it's a really good line because if Justin wins, it will likely be a good amount of volume until he wears out Michael Chandler's chin and puts him out. If Michael Chandler wins, he's going to catch him, and that's it. Maybe he'll mix in the wrestling because what people aren't factoring in here, and I'm seeing the live chat right now, everybody is on Justin minus 2 people. And first of all, you guys drive me nuts with the whole, actually literally what Jacob just did. Drives me nuts. This is going to happen, and you're an idiot if you think anything else. That's ridiculous. First of all, it's a fist fight. Second of all, Khabib just showed everybody how to beat Justin. You just take him down. Dude is useless on the ground. Shockingly useless on the ground. Michael Chandler can take Justin down. Now, is he going to follow Khabib's game plan, tuck his chin, get those takedowns in there? If that's what he's going to do, this is his fight, period, end of story. Period. But if he's going to mix it up on his feet, he could be on the wrong end of some of the big Justin power shots, on the wrong end of Justin's volume, and find himself in some trouble.
Yeah, and people too are screaming Trevor. I already mentioned the Trevor Whitman, but that is no joke when you have Trevor Whitman in your corner.
Sure, he's a great coach.
Because he is game plan heavy, and he's gonna have a game plan. But Justin's one of those guys that doesn't.
You don't need a game plan for Michael Chandler. Literally, the game plan is touch his chin.
Right, but Gaethje's one of those guys too that doesn't really stick to the game plan once he's in there, right? Because he saw against Khabib, there was a game plan. He kind of blew his load. He wasn't supposed to throw those power shots that he was throwing. He can get a little over anxious in there. So yeah, I mean it's Trevor Whitman, but it's also Justin Gaethje. He kind of does what he wants.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's a very interesting fight. Literally, whatever side you're on, these numbers are great. If you are on the Justin Gaethje side and you're screaming, this is going to be a knockout, then spend the minus 195. That should be a guarantee. Spend the $8,900 in DraftKings. That should be a guarantee. And, you know, you can pick the more or less if you think there's a stoppage. If you're on the Chandler slide, then those numbers are no-brainers. Put your money where your mouth is. This is a really interesting fight. This is a super tough fight to pick. Don't let Jacob's bravado fool you. This is a very, very tough fight to pick, and I'm looking forward to it. wewantpicks.com/bets. Sign up, hit one of these lines, make a deposit. Let me know after you do, and I will send you $50. Don't forget, go to wewantpicks.com/bets and make a deposit. We have 3 different betting partners to work with. Grab one, jump in, make a deposit, reach out, let me know after you did, and I will send you $50, however you want it, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All I need from you is your username, screenshot of deposit. I'll get you paid. Thank you very much for the watch. Like, subscribe, do all the things, and claim your free money.